So that was bound to happen. I went to click the pause button and I hit the stop button, and I'm not going to edit and put these. It takes so long to put them together, so I'm just going to start up again. But I will connect them. Like I'll do part one and part two, and for the same day. So again, if you're new, if you just came here, I'm getting over a cold, and I'm hitting the pause button to when I have to cough, and I ended up um, hitting the stop button by accident. I didn't wonder that was going to happen. Let me look at this mint mark under the loop, and then I'll finish the discussion. Yeah, it looks like a repunch mint mark to me. Either that or it's a damaged mint mark that, you know, but it looks like the D has an angle to it. So again, just to finish the thought that I had from the first part. Um, so, you know, when I first started this channel and started coin roll hunting, I really didn't know what I was doing. And fortunately, had some good direction along the way. Definitely, my members of the channel were very helpful, um, and um, and gave me some direction. And I had to do a lot of research on my own, and that research really kind of is my foundation. It's almost like elementary school, high school, you know, where you learn how to read and write and the basics of your basic education. And with coins, it really has to do with, um, and coin roll hunting really has to do with the time and energy that you put into researching, mostly on your own, you know, probably 99%. And then you get the occasional person who gives you good advice, and that adds to your repertoire of coin roll hunting. You know, for example, this is a pretty good example of. So you look at this penny, or I look at this penny, and I see that I know the difference between the obverse and the reverse. I know how to very quickly scan to see if there's any uh, damage or possible mint errors. I look inside the Lincoln Memorial bays to see if there's any die clashes. I look at all the elements to see if there's any machine doubling or possible double dies or other die clashes. I look at the rim. I look at the dirt side. I look at the edge. I look at the collar to see if there's any. Excuse me. I look at the rim and the edge to see if there's any collar errors. And then I notice on the other side there's these. Well, they're lines, right? And those lines are not on the reverse. And that makes me think something caused that, right? The lines look, they do have a kind of similar direction that they're moving in. And that tells me a little, it gives me a little extra information, right? Why are they moving in this, west to east, southwest, northeast direction? Some of them are a little bit more random. They're probably all connected. All these little scratches on the surface, on the obverse, are probably all connected. And could it have been they have feeding machines at the mint, and those are considered mint errors. And they have little fingers, mechanical levers that move all this stuff around. And I don't think this is caused by that, right? This is probably most likely was in something else, more like a change machine or something like that. And it might have got caught in one of the little mechanics of like a change machine. Um, or maybe even the sidewalk. It might have been just one really good scratch that it got, from being run over by a car or something like that. But most likely not a mint error. And I'm able to think of it in those terms because of how long I've been doing this. Here goes another good one, right? The 2023, right? We found one before that had the missing L, and also there's one that has an extra V, a little V on the bottom that looks very similar to the VDB. And it's called the extra V, and I have to look under the loop. I do see a mark there, but most likely the mark is not an extra V. It's most likely just a scratch, which is what it is. So I know enough to have this a handy loop, right? I have my loop here, and that's what I've been using for over a past year to identify basic errors. And these are things that anybody can do, you know. Anybody with a camera and a $1 loop, 10 times, 20 times loop, um, can look for basic errors and move on, very quickly. You don't have to have a $300, $400, which I do have, the microscope. Um, you need is 50 cents to get a penny roll from the bank. And you could be doing your own penny roll hunting. You don't, even like the person who I was using in the example before, the mechanic, who says, I'm never going to pay a mechanic to do my brakes again or oil change and tune up or whatever, change a tire. I'm going to do it all on my own, and I'm going to learn. I mean, you're talking about, first of all, that even in that example, it's a whole different skill set, right? And I did use that as a good comparison of a person who goes on their own personal journey to learn something. But with that specific, you have to have a certain amount of strength, um, right? Um, Probably have to have an extra car to go and get your car parts. Um, and you better be mechanically inclined, because you make a mistake on your brakes, and it could be life threatening. You know, if you make a mistake with a penny, honestly, 99% chance it really doesn't mean anything, because um, the real valuable coins are more obvious than not. Um, the errors that have value are pretty easy to be seen most of the time with the naked eye. And then we just use I use the loop just to verify and out of just plain curiosity and interest, you know. And then of course finding copper really doesn't take much, right? 1981 and earlier is copper, and then learning about the variations of the 82s, that could take a little while. Um, do a few thousand pennies, you're going to find enough 1982s to learn the difference. I made some pretty good instructional videos on it. Um, and then you'll find little surprises like a wheat cent here and there, um, maybe a dime or a foreign coin, Canadian. And it really is just simple fun, and again, if you find something that's valuable here and there, it's more like a bonus. Um, which is of course very different than trying to be your own mechanic, and you better know what you're doing, or you could kill, get really hurt. um so this is a very simple and kind of fun hobby that's very easy to get into, but it does take a certain amount of time and practice uh, that you have to put into it in order to really learn about mint errors. And I really hope that, and it is a good one, right? Right. So that's a ridge ring, right? Which I was calling tilted hub, but there's a name for it, and I was calling it the tilted hub um, line for, I don't know, for a long time. And then a couple of my members said, "Oh, that's called ridge ring," and it is a most likely it does have to do with the tilting of the hub on zinc cents, but there was a name for it, and I had to. It wasn't until 7 or 8 months after making videos that I learned what this simple term was, and that was with help from my members. Shout out to my members: Sandra, Ter, MAR-TAY, Otis, and Eric. Kenai's Collectible also has a nice Discord channel. You could click the link below and check it out. And those are the little you'll add to your vocabulary little by little, and those additions to your vocabulary, it's pretty cool. I like the way it kind of ate away the clad, and slowly but surely you learn a little bit here and there. Oh, we got a nice 1965. And then you'll learn how to you find your favorite websites, and for doing research, and you'll bookmark them, and you're learning at your own pace, and see what it is that interests you most with coin roll hunting, and maybe penny roll hunting in particular. And hopefully that this channel, helped out a bit along the way. That's all I can ask for. I know it helped out me a lot, as far as giving me a nice activity to do and meeting nice people and learning something. I like learning, and not learning that that's going to break the brain. I'm getting a little too old for brain breaking, mind altering education, but this is right up my alley, and hopefully some of you who came along for the ride enjoyed the process, and learned something new with me. That's all I can ask for. So I want to say thank you, and I am feeling better, and this will conclude episode 355. Now it's pretty close. That's 1 plus 4. That's 5 coppers, and then we have another 1, 2, another 2. So that's 7 coppers. Right, I had it right pretty much on the nose. I think I said 6 or 7 coppers at the beginning of the first part to this coin roll hunt. So stick around. Come, I'll see all my channel subscribers tomorrow for episode 356. God bless and take care.